Hi, I'm Paul Walsh, the CEO of a security company called Metacert. This is a quick video demo to demonstrate how it's mathematically impossible for any company in the world to detect a dangerous URL that hasn't already been classified by a security researcher. And so to preamble this with a little bit of insight as to how it happens in cybersecurity, if you think about the entire landscape of cybersecurity, there are many thousands of vendors, but there's only a small handful that own what's called a cyber threat intelligence database of URLs that are classified as dangerous. Metacert just happens to be one of them. But also, we take a feed from many security vendors to make sure that that threat feed is as extensive as it can be. But it doesn't stop the vast majority of phishing attacks that happen in the world. It is particularly useful for certain circumstances, but it's no longer reliable or effective for anti-phishing. So I'm going to give you an example to demonstrate that point. This URL on MetaMask, this MetaMask URL on PhishTank is a phishing URL. I know this because I just checked. Because when I go to the URL, let me just refresh that, I can see the MetaMask favicon, which means they're trying to impersonate them. And the URL actually looks like MetaMask because I know it's metamask.io, but it's actually metamask.io-updated.app. And so that's the entire domain name. It's not just a full path on top of a domain name. Now, if I was to go to the legitimate website, it would display all the content. Now, I know this is a legitimate website because the Metacert shield turns green to indicate that it's verified. Whereas on the phishing website, it's gray, which means it's not verified. Now, you might think, well, that's okay. We'll just take a threat feed from PhishTank and we'll be great. Not necessarily, because PhishTank won't be aware of all of the dangerous URLs that other companies have investigated and classified. And also, this particular URL is not yet verified. It's actually unknown. And that might be in that state for the next couple of minutes, hours, days, weeks, or even months, because it can take that long on PhishTank. But I'm going to show you how to demonstrate that point. Let me go to VirusTotal, which is a security company where we can actually do a check of URLs, and they will check all of the security vendors that they're aware of. So according to VirusTotal, no security vendor has classified this as dangerous. As you can see, not only do these vendors think it's unknown, they actually say it's clean, which is a very, very dangerous thing because it gives a false sense of confidence. And when we go down, we'll find PhishTank, and that's clean because it hasn't been verified. So even if you take a feed from PhishTank, you won't know this is dangerous until they verify that it's dangerous. And you shouldn't be scraping their website to try and block unverified dangerous URLs, or you'll block a huge number of innocent websites that shouldn't be blocked. So as you can see, all these vendors are not aware of this URL yet, which means nobody can block it. So we need to stop saying that we can block deceptive or dangerous URLs that we don't know about, because it's impossible, because we don't know about them. There are exceptions to the rule where we can use regex AI, ML, and other fancy techniques that can recognize patterns inside domains or URLs or folders. Like, for example, we could block or detect domains that contain the word COVID, but you wouldn't necessarily do that for a URL because it could be the BBC website talking about COVID and it's in the URL. So there's a lot of different nuances to take into consideration. And there are exceptions to the rule where we can detect potential danger inside a URL, but that would represent a tiny fraction of 1%. It certainly wouldn't be a reliable or an effective solution for anti-phishing, generally speaking. So as an industry, we need to stop saying that we can detect danger inside a URL, on the fly, because it's just not possible.